tragic start to the new year in Melville, Johannesburg. 2 people have died and several were injured in a drive-by shooting. ENCA's Heidi Jokos is on the scene and joins me now. So Heidi, what have you been able to piece together about what happened there? It's a place that, you know, many people go to. It's an ordinary hangout spot that you wouldn't imagine would have such tragedy occurring. But this is South Africa. What happened?
Most definitely, Tulas, and I must say it's a really tragic morning here in Melville on 7th Avenue. When we arrived on the scene about 15 minutes ago, you could almost hear a pin drop. That's how quiet it is, and I think it's completely contrast to what happened in the early hours of this morning when there was a shootout. 2 people have been killed. It's believed to be 2 women, one in her 30s and one in her 40s, and 6 other people have been hospitalized in critical condition. So we do understand that it was a very serious incident that took place at about 1 o'clock this morning. We understand there was a fight that ensued, and then soon after that there was a black BMW SUV that drove past. It appears as though it came down 7th Avenue and then fired shots. I'm just going to move out of shot so we can just actually show you where you can actually see there are circles around. It seems as though that's where the bullets or the shots were fired. This area was completely cornered off in the early hours of this morning. You can actually see as well that just outside Poppy's restaurant where this incident took place, there are some clean-up operations taking place. We do understand when we spoke to some people outside just a short while ago, they were saying that there was so much blood on the floor, and one can actually see that they are busy cleaning that up. We do understand that investigations are undergoing. We can see inside Poppy's restaurant that it appears as though there is a crime investigation team that's, of course, trying to gather statements and further information as to what exactly transpired. We do understand that there is a manhunt out for an unknown suspect or suspects. The police are not sure exactly how many people were involved in that shootout, but we do understand that it was a particular individual that passed by and fired shots. Unfortunately, 2 lives were lost.
Heidi, you talk about it was so quiet you could hear a pin drop, and I think that really captures it quite well. But talk to me about the shock of the people around there. What have some of the people been telling you?
Yes, Tulas, I've actually just moved out of shot so you can actually see that the crime scene investigator unit, if I can put it that way, of the police is currently on scene, and they are, of course, gathering further information and detail as to what happened. Early this morning when we got here, people aren't really talking, and one can understand why. It's quite a horrific scene that happened. It's quite a horrific incident that occurred in the early hours of this morning, and I think not many would expect that. Not now, not given the fact that it's also New Year's, but it's a lot to digest and a lot of information to get in, given the fact that it was very unexpected. So we haven't gotten a chance to go inside because we do understand that they are busy gathering statements and, of course, trying to get through this investigation as quickly as possible. Also, given the fact that we must reiterate and emphasize the fact that there are 6 people in hospital and 2 critically wounded, given the fact that there were so many shots fired by that suspect. So, it's a bit difficult to engage with people at this stage, but just seeing people walk past, we're seeing lots of members of this community walking past, people running, lots of cars driving past and just looking in shock and horror as to what happened. You can even hear some of the chatter that's coming down the road now, where people are basically saying, what has happened, what is actually going on. So it's really a tragic incident that's happened here in Melville.
Heidi Jokos working that story for us. Thank you for that update.